We're going to start talking more in depth about search tools, tools that help you search for information. The first search tool we're going to talk about is the library's catalog. This is a list of what we own in our library. Just like any type of catalog from a store, for example, a catalog will tell you what that store owns, not what other stores own, but just what they own. That's what our library catalog is designed to do. It's designed to tell you what we own in our library, not other libraries, but what we own. There are several ways to get to the catalog. We like to have lots of choices, of course. I already looked at using Primo Search, which includes materials from our catalog in it, so we're going to look at using the catalog on its own. You can access the catalog and its features from the Books and DVDs tab on the front page, the quick links on the bottom left, or the Search and Find drop-down list. From the Search and Find list, there's the Library Catalog link, or in the All Sources link. That's a lot of choices, so there's lots of ways to get to it. We're just going to go from the Search and Find Library Catalog link for now. Once you click on the catalog, you can see your search options. Back in the days before computers, some of you may remember, I'm not sure, you could search in the card catalog. That was a whole bunch of drawers with tiny little cards in them. On the cards were printed titles of books and other items owned by your library. And so you would go into your library and you would find the card drawer for what you're looking for. You could search by title if you knew exactly the name of the book you wanted. You could go to the title drawer and find it alphabetically, and on the little card it would tell you what the Dewey Decimal Call number is, so you know where to find it. Alternately, you could search by an author's name if you knew the author and wanted to see what books your library had by them. Same thing, go to the drawer, find an author's name, and then look at the list of books owned by your library from that author. The third way was by subject. This is what we call controlled vocabulary. It is using official subject headings, which we still use in the library today, to describe something. Go to the subject headings to describe your topic, and you could look up on the subject card and see what items the library had on that subject. So title, author, and subject, those are the three basic ways that we could search the catalog. Now, with the addition of computerized searching, we can also search other ways. We're not just limited to those three. We still use those, of course, but we also have added a more broad search, which is keyword. While the title, author, and subject each only search in that one part, what we call a field, title only looks in the title of the book. It won't tell you if maybe there's one chapter on something or if the subject is about your topic. It only searches title. Same with author and subject. They only search their designated field. Keyword will cover all of those. In addition to covering title, author, and subject, keyword also looks for notes. So if there's a DVD and maybe there's a description about what the DVD is about, your keyword search will pick up words in that description, or a book maybe has the table of contents listed. A lot of the books in our catalog have the whole table of contents of the book in there, so you'll find that using a keyword search can pinpoint maybe just one chapter that's about your topic rather than necessarily the whole book, but one section on your topic. So keyword has broadened things out quite a bit. Let's do a search. We're going to do a subject search for a look at the controlled vocabulary first, and then we're going to have a look at some of the others. Let's say if you want to find something on schizophrenia. That's what we're going to put in, and we'll look at that subject heading and hit search. So here's what we're looking at. Schizophrenia, and it shows the first thing on the list is an exact match. If it doesn't find an exact match to what subject you put in, exactly what you asked for, it will put you alphabetically close by. For example, if you misspell a word, it won't find an exact match, but it'll put you in the alphabetical list as close as possible. But it will not suggest alternate spellings. So if you mistype a word, it won't give you, did you mean this spelling? It doesn't do that, so keep that in mind. Okay, schizophrenia. It says we have 43 titles that are about schizophrenia. And then it says type Library of Congress subject headings. That's the type of subject rules we're using. 43 things about schizophrenia. A rule of thumb when a library is selecting the subject headings for an item is if 20% of the book is about a topic, then you can assign it a subject heading. But if it's about a lot of different things on one broad topic, you give it the broad topic. Hopefully that'll make sense when we start looking around. Now the next thing down is schizophrenia again, and then dash case studies, and we have 2 titles. We started with our main concept, schizophrenia, and now we're narrowing it down a little bit, and that's a subheading. So schizophrenia is our main heading, and then we've got a little subheading going. Schizophrenia and then some topic, that is the dashes. Here it's case studies. So it'll be more specific. But if you're looking at your subject heading, schizophrenia-case studies is your official subject heading. But you know, because there's more words, that it's schizophrenia is your main subject and then case studies is your subdivision. So it gets subdivided in many ways. You can look at our main subject that are just about schizophrenia. They probably cover a lot of these different subcategories, so they're not about too much about any one, so it's more broadly about schizophrenia. And that's why they don't necessarily have a lot of subheadings. They're just broadly about the disease. So you can see where we've got schizophrenia cross-cultural studies, just one thing on that, and you keep going, schizophrenia, social aspects, treatment. Now we get down here. Again, this is an alphabetical list. We're just scrolling through the alphabet here. We move past schizophrenia to schizophrenic. It's a different spelling, so it's a different word. We see schizophrenic disorders. Now it says, nope, we don't have anything. So why is it here in the list if we don't have anything? Then it says, see schizophrenia. So if you had typed in schizophrenic disorders, perhaps that's the old way to say it or something like that, you don't use that. You use schizophrenia instead. So if you try and put in something that's not quite the proper way to say it, they might provide you with a reference to the correct way to describe it. Schizophrenics, which is different than schizophrenia, that's the illness, but schizophrenics are people who have that illness. So then you've got some subject headings there as well. This is a subject list. We don't have any book titles yet. What are these 43 books on schizophrenia? Let's take a look at those. So if you are doing a subject search and you see a heading that matches kind of what you're looking for, go ahead and click on it. Now we have our 43 titles, so we can look through these and see what looks good. This is one of your cursory evaluation skills. When you first look at the list of titles, which ones look like what you want to talk about, you can start through the list and make decisions. And there's some evaluation happening even right there. Look at the first few on the list. You can see that there are icons to help identify what type of source it is. The first few have a video camera next to them. The next has a book next to it. From those, you can obviously see which are videos and which are books. To find out if these are physical items or e-items, you have to look closer. The book shows the title, and then it says in square brackets, electronic resource. Underneath has the author's name, the date, the call number, which includes the word ebook, and then below that is electronic resource on the World Wide Web. Between those 3 hints, electronic resource, ebook, electronic resource, you should probably get the clue that this is an ebook. Ebooks are electronic versions of print books. We could have bought this book in print and put it on our shelf, but we choose to get it as an ebook. There's lots of reasons for that. Among them, multiple access by more than one person. You have access when the library is closed. If we have it on our shelf, you can only get it when we're open. Things like that. Access from a distance, etc. Also, there are lots of features of ebooks, which we'll talk about as well. This is an ebook. We could click on it and we could be viewing the whole book right now. The videos also have some of those same hints. Electronic resource on the World Wide Web, and it says streaming video. These are part of our online video collection. You can watch them directly from your computer. For physical DVDs, you will see a call number, and that will include media collection, and of course there will be the video camera icon. That way you'll know it's not online but in the library, and you can come pick it up. Scrolling down, this one has the book icon and is called Living Outside Mental Illness. It shows the author, date, but instead of a call number, it says multiple holdings available. That means we have more than one of this. We need to click on the title to see if it's available or not. It doesn't show us that here. And then also the number. Once you have a call number, you can run up to the library and grab it off the shelf. But if you're doing this at home, you would have to come to campus. But if you're going to get an ebook, you can do it right on your computer. Let's look at this record. So if you click on the title of the book, now we're looking at what we call a catalog record. For this is more detailed information. And this was talked about a little bit in your discussion reading as well. What's included in a record? We have the title of the book again, plus author. Now with more detail, publisher, who published it, where, when, how many pages is it, usually how tall it is, the size of the book. In this case, we have a table of contents down below. Any notes? This says includes bibliographical references and index, which is really handy to know because a bibliography, that's going to tell you what sources did they use when they were writing their material. This is their citations. So that's something we looked at as an evaluation criteria earlier. Okay, they've got a bibliography that's good, that adds credibility, an index for finding things, that's really good too. Now the subject headings, we came in because we found the subject schizophrenia, but it's also about qualitative research, phenomenology, and psychology methodology. So we can get an idea about their approach to this topic, these different aspects. Holdings, main collection, here is how it shows the call number and it's available. So we actually own this book as an ebook and as a physical book, you can see. Well, that's handy. So we've actually got both. If the actual physical book was checked out, it would say unavailable and it would tell you when it was due back. And then on the ebook, it says click to view. And you can see it up here and down here, click to view, authorization required. What that means is if you're not on campus when you're viewing this, if you're at home or your neighbor's house or the public library or wherever you happen to be, you have to log in. These are books that we buy for our students for Grace Harbor College Student Access. You can't use it from anywhere off campus unless you log in. We need to know that you are a student. Down here is listed the table of contents. You can see what chapters are in the book. You can also click and browse on the subject headings if we decide, oh, maybe psychology methodology is something we want to look at as well. Click on it and it'll do a subject search for that. Anything that's underlined you can click on, the author's name, subjects, call numbers. If we wanted to find some other stuff by the same author, someone who looks really good, we can see what else the library might have that they wrote. Someone who's maybe famous in their field, maybe we have several books by them. There are some actions on the right-hand side. Make a request. Now that doesn't apply to ebooks, but physical books. If someone has got it checked out and you want to be the next person to get it, you can put a request in, just use your student ID and last name, and we'll put a hold on it. When that comes back, we'll contact you. That's a really good thing to do if you really want something. Even if it is out, I really recommend putting a hold on it. If we don't know someone is waiting for it, we'll let the person renew it if we don't have a hold on it. We need to know if there's someone actually waiting for it. You can email this information to yourself, or you can add it to my list, which is up here at the top tabs. There's sometimes a link to Google Books if you want to find out a little bit more about it. In this case, we have it as an ebook, so there's no point in going to Google Books to look at it. We've actually got it electronically, but if you're doing this at home and it was only a physical book and you had to come get it at the library, you might want to go to Google Books to find out a little bit more and make sure it's something that you really wanted before you came in. Let's take a quick look at the ebook. So this opened up the ebooks for us, and I could go on for a very long time about ebooks. I'm not going to spend the whole time talking about how great the ebooks are. In the weekly folder, there are a couple of handouts that you can look at, an FAQ on the ebooks, and some tips and tricks. So great things you can do with ebooks. You can look at that as well. But I'm going to go over some of the features. Okay, so we're looking at the book information page, and you can see that it's available for online reading, which is most common, but also to download. If you wanted to read it offline, that's what you would do. Opening the online reading, you're looking at the cover of the book. There are arrows in the top corner, and you can click and just start flipping through the book, just like you're turning pages. On the left, scroll down for the table of contents, which we could actually flip the pages forward until we found that also, but it's linked on the left. We can just pick a chapter that we want to go directly to, or say the chapter Living Inside Schizophrenia. Maybe we want to go straight to that chapter. We can click on it and it's going to take us to that chapter. That's really nice, quick and easy. But if we wanted to really pinpoint something, we would use search within book. We can actually put in a keyword or phrase and search through this entire book. This is something that even when searching in our catalog, keyword searching doesn't search the entire text of the book. It just searches the record. Let's say treatment. We're looking at schizophrenia and maybe we want to know something about treatment. So put that in and hit search. The bar graphs are showing you where that word appears. Click on one and it shows you the word in the context of the sentence. Select a result and it'll take you straight to that page, and then it'll highlight our word that we looked for, so we don't have to necessarily go through the index of the book. We didn't have to flip through any pages to find out what we were looking for. We just put it in and it did its search and took us straight there. I love this. This is my favorite thing about ebooks. Now, other things we can do, you can print some of the pages, not the entire book. That's on the FAQ list as well. Usually the publisher of the book gets to decide how many pages you can print. I don't know if it's a percentage or how they usually decide, but it's a set amount. I've typically seen maybe about 60 pages. That's usual, but sometimes it's a bit more or a bit less. In the ebooks, once you log in, you can use a lot of features. And the login is up here on the right. You can highlight passages in the text, and when you do that, it'll add it to your bookshelf. You can copy and paste a section into your paper if you want to quote something. You can highlight with a note, make a note to yourself about why you highlighted something. You can link to the book, download a chapter, etc. Again, the handout in the weekly folder goes over all the icons across the top here and discusses what they do. On the left side, you have the book information, the table of contents, your annotations and notes on this book if you've made any notes, and the search. You can also close the sidebar to get more reading space. The bookshelf is great for saving books you'll want again. Add it to your shelf, and every time you return and log in, your books will be there. You can even create folders within your bookshelf and organize your books. So if you're doing research for several classes, you can create folders for each one and then sort your books depending on which project they're supporting. So there's a lot of great features. Ebooks are really easy to use and really handy. Now let's go back to our record in the catalog. And again, we own the ebook, which we just viewed, and then the print book as well. If you remember, we did a subject search. Let's go up to the top and do a new search. So that was subject searching. We did a subject search for schizophrenia. We found a number of different things and subdivisions that way. Let's do that as a keyword search. Schizophrenia, and this does not automatically look for related words. If you type in the word, it looks for an exact match. It's not going to say, oh, maybe they meant schizophrenics as well as schizophrenia, both the people and the disease. No, it's just going to look for exactly what you typed in. We're going to just look for the keyword. We are looking in all material, but you can limit your keyword search. This doesn't apply to subject, title, author. You can't use the limiters on those, but on keywords you can. You can put limits like after 2006, just DVDs and CDs, print books only, if you only wanted print books from our shelves, or ebooks only. Streaming media, that limits to our online video collection, so you have some nice limiters here. We're not going to limit anything on this search. Let's just search for everything that says schizophrenia, no matter what it is. Let's find out what we've got. And we have 177 results. Now, it's definitely more than we got when we did it as a subject search. Why is there a difference? Subject heading, someone actually looks at the book and decides that's what the book is about. Remember I said 20%. Keyword is just computerized searching. It's just matching the word somewhere in the record. You can see in bright yellow they've highlighted our word. Sometimes it's right in the title. That's a good sign. That must be about our topic, right? After a couple of pages, you don't see it in the title necessarily, but it's in the record somewhere because it matched it up, right? Let's look at this one, Behavior Genetics Principles. We know it says schizophrenia somewhere, but when we did a subject search, we would not have found this book because this book is not about schizophrenia exactly. But if you scroll down the table of contents, you can see several chapters mention it. So that's why it picked it out. The keyword found it. Found that keyword schizophrenia. Now the question is, does this help our topic? Is it what we want? And that's where we have to start evaluating again. But this is a great example of pinpointing one little thing that you wouldn't have found using a subject search, because that's not really what the book is about, but it does talk about it, and it possibly could be really applicable to what you're trying to find out. So this is one of the advantages of keyword searching. We pointed out a chapter that could be useful to us. It doesn't matter that we don't need the whole book. We really just want that one chapter, and that's fine. Okay, let's go back out to our title list, 177 titles. That was down here a couple pages in. Yet keyword searching can be to your advantage or not. It really is going to depend on your topic, on how much information you need, how specific you need the information to be, how large of a system you're searching. Our library catalog between our physical items and electronic books and videos, it's not too huge. I mean, it's probably like 185,000 items maybe between those. That's not too bad for searching keyword. When you get into millions of articles, when we start talking about magazines and newspapers and journals, keyword searching can get really messy and really big. So that's where you really are going to want to start focusing down, combining those keywords together. Back at the search, we search for keywords and subjects. Now, title. If you know the name of the book you are looking for, you can type it in. Now, one thing to remember about title searching, if the title of the book begins with a, an, or the, such as A Long Day's Journey into Night or The Longest Journey, leave that first word off. This is an alphabetical list, just like the subject headings were an alphabetical list. The title alphabetizes not by those starting articles. It alphabetizes with the first main word. So leave the a, an, or the off. You're not going to find your results if you put that in there. So put in longest journey without the. Longest journey and do a title search. It's actually called The Longest Journey, but it won't look for it that way. We can see longest journey takes us to the record. We see the title, author, publisher, etc., the call number, and if it's available. Title searching is pretty straightforward. The records are the same, so we're still finding the same information that we were looking at before. That little trick on title searching is remembering not to put the a, an, or the at the beginning of your title. That's the important thing. Author list. You know who wrote something and you want to see what we have by them. Maybe you're doing research on Skinner's theory of behavior. You go to the author list. Remember, last name first. Just like you were looking someone up in a phone book, last name, then first name. That's the most common problem I see is people put in the first name first. Last name first, all the time. So it matches his name, then it also tells us what the BF in BF Skinner stands for, and it gives us the years of his life. Now you can see the next one down on the list, Skinner, BJ, there is no link. There's no link to this, but it gives you the see also reference to Skinner, Brian J. That is his official name listing. He has no end date on his record, which means he's not dead yet. That date listing is pretty useful, actually. If you're looking for an author, maybe there are several with similar names or the same name. You can narrow down by what time period did this person write in, which person am I really looking for. That can really help you if you have someone with a fairly common name that you're looking for. Okay, so you can see we've got B.F. Skinner. You can see we've got his name. We have 8 titles written by him. And then we click on his name. It'll give us that list of titles, and then we're looking just at a title list, just like we've seen before. Title, we already know who the author is, Skinner, published date, call number, and if it's available or not. Click on the title. This is going to look the same as the other records we've seen. When you're looking at any record, we've got a Browse the Shelf feature down here. This is the book we're looking at, about behaviorism. But we can see what books are next to this on the shelf. Remember Dewey Decimal rules. Things are grouped together by subject. So we can see other things that are right near here on the same topic. This is really handy. You can kind of browse through and take a look at some other titles that are nearby on the shelf. People do this in person in the library. You go to the shelf and then you browse to see what's nearby. This is nice because not only does it add the books that are physically on the shelf, but it adds the ebooks that have the call numbers that are nearby. So actually, if you were browsing the shelf in the library, you wouldn't see ebooks there. When you browse this way, virtually through the catalog, you will see them all mixed together. So that's very, very nice. Then you can click on any of those if you're interested in, say, I'm going to look at behavior and personality. You can click on that and go find out more about that book. You can use this to browse around and find other sources. Once you find something good, browse around nearby. There are a few other search options. There is the call number list. Not very many people use this, but if you know a call number area, you can enter it and browse by call number. just like we were doing from a record, but if you already know a call number, you can do it. If you wanted to see what we have in 616.12, we can do that. I use it, but most people don't. That's kind of a nice librarian feature there. Most of the time people have a subject or a keyword that they want to search for, or maybe a title or author, but most likely subject or keyword. There are other things you can do in our library's catalog. What we are getting here are basic searches. There are also advanced searches. Go to advanced keyword and you can start building a search together. This is a great search form. You'll be seeing more of these as we go through our other search tools. We were using schizophrenia earlier. I love these because you have choices here. Any of these words, all of these words as a phrase. So it's giving you some options here. You can pick, and we have just one word, so any of them is fine. And where do you want that word to appear? So here's where we start talking about fields. Again, we talked about title, author, subject, fields. Keyword anywhere, so that word could be anywhere. No, I just want this word to be in the title or subject. You can be more particular. Some of these are numbers that you won't need in series. Title, author, subject, keyword is basically some good choices. So maybe we want schizophrenia to be somewhere in the title. And then we've got, look, Boolean operators, yay, and or not. I want to say treatment, subject. We'll put that in the subject, and then you can say not shock. Maybe we want to take out anything related to perhaps shock treatment. We'll take that out, whatever you want to eliminate. But you can build your search together, and then you've got some other limiters, years, locations, and things. This advanced search will build your search together for you. So we did a search. So let's take a look. You can see here 21 results it shows, and then across here, this is the search that we built. Title, schizophrenia, subject, treatment, not keyword anywhere, shock. So it's combined our stuff together. So it's built our search based on that form we used. And now we've got our results. Back out to the main screen, we looked at advanced keyword searching. There are other tabs that are interesting but not overly useful. Course reserves, you can go in and see what your instructor has on reserve if you're looking for something for your class. And new books, that links out to show what new books we've added to our collection recently. Those are your search types. Now up across the top, these next set of tabs where the search tab is for basic searching, there's also my save searches. When you do a search, you can save it if you want to come back in and view it again. Come back to the library's catalog and see that search again. You can save it. You can save things to a book list. When you're looking at a list of results, you can check the little boxes. We didn't do any of that, but check boxes and save those items to your book list and visit at a future date. Or My Account, this is where you can log in with your student ID and last name and look at your record information. You can see what you have checked out. See when things are due, or you can renew items online if no one has placed a hold on them, of course. Lots of little features there. That one's pretty handy. My Account is kind of nice, especially at the end of the quarter. You want to make sure you've turned in everything that you have got checked out so you don't have anything hanging around still. It's a good place to double check. On the right is search history. We can go back and see what searches we've been doing today, and we can rerun them or edit the search or make some changes or save it. This is where we can save our search, and it will go to that Save Search tab up top. It will ask you to log in if you try and save your search. But if we want to rerun now, there we go. This is where you can check the boxes down the side if you decide you want to save these items. You can print those records out, or you can email the list to yourself if you want to just keep those titles, or add them to your list and that'll go up in your book list. The library catalog has a lot of different features available. In the upper right-hand corner, there's help and even Ask a Librarian, which is our chat help, and you can get help that way. That's a tour of the library's catalog, and this is searching for items that we own in our library, books, ebooks, media like DVDs, CDs, CD-ROMs, etc. We will look at some other search tools coming up the rest of the quarter.